Over the past 4 years of the Overwatch League, people have pointed out that more and more teams are swapping to full Korean lineups. This has led some people to believe that NA and EU can't keep up with the Chinese and Korean teams. However, this couldn't be further from the truth, and nobody proves this sentiment wrong like Space. Indie Space Halpern was born on March 28th, 2000. Wait a minute. Anyway, Space grew up in New York City and was an aspiring hairstylist. Unfortunately, after a few slip-ups, this dream would fall through. During his time as a hairstylist, he would meet a girl named Diva Overwatch. This gave Shu's teammate a new direction, and he quickly started grinding the game of Overwatch. Starting in Platinum, he quickly climbed the ranks and skyrocketed to the top of the ladder. With his skill in the off-tank position, teams started to catch wind of Indie's talent. In 2017, he would join a number of teams, starting with Late Bloomers. After this team, he would join You Guys Get Paid, who won an Academy Gaming weekend along with some second place finishes. After his time on You Guys Get Paid, Space would join the most notable team in his career. This team was Yikes, which would later rebrand to ARC-6. Space would play with multiple notable players on this team, including Custa, XQC, and Dante. This team was more competitive than any other team Indie had joined, getting first place in both the Hulktastic Cup and the Alienware Monthly Melee. This team ultimately proved Space's potential as an off-tank, but he couldn't join the Overwatch League quite yet due to his age. Indie would sign with the Los Angeles Valiant on November 2nd, 2017, but he would not be able to play until late March. But once this time came, Space would prove to be a fantastic prospect for the Los Angeles Valiant. Their previous off-tank, Envy, was rumored to be very toxic and hard to work with when in the team environment. Regardless of the validity of these claims, Envy was a fantastic off-tank in Season 1, and he was no longer playing for the Valiant. Space had some huge shoes to fill, but he showed the world how awesome and based he was at Overwatch.
The player of the match, the best player that was on the stage today, and this is sponsored by Omen by HP. There was no one better than Space. Turns 18, immediately thrown into the lineup, and he has never let this team down.
The Valiant would go on to have an excellent Season 1, finishing second overall and winning the Stage 4 playoffs. Unfortunately, Space and the Valiant would not be able to transfer their successful year into a championship, but they ultimately proved that they were a team to watch out for. This had a lot of people keeping their eyes on the Valiant and Space for Season 2, but few could have predicted the run they would have. The last sentence of that section probably made it sound like they decimated the league, leaving nothing but bones behind, but no, this is not what happened. The Valiant ended Stage 1 with an 0-7 record. This was ridiculous considering the roster the Valiant had, but due to questionable coaching decisions and incredibly close games going the other way, the Valiant would begin the season with an awful record. Luckily for Space and the rest of the Valiant, they were able to recover for the most part, but they just barely missed out on the playoff opportunity. After this overall underwhelming year from the Los Angeles Valiant, the organization decided to go with a budget approach for the 2020 season. Due to Space being part of the Overwatch League bourgeoisie, the Valiant decided Space would not be part of their roster for 2020. Luckily for Space, he wouldn't have to look very far to find a new home. But before we get to Space's new home, we have to talk about the World Cup. After a fairly disappointing 2018 run where it came home for the Brits, the United States decided to run it back with one of the most dominant lineups ever. Even South Korea, which had won the World Cup 3 years in a row, was no match for the might of Space, San Francisco Shock, and Valorant.
I'm actually done, bro.
Now that we have given Space an ego boost, let's get back to the main story. The rival team of the Valiant, the Los Angeles Gladiators, expressed interest in having Space join the team. Space saw the color purple and thought it went hard, and so he decided to join the team. This team had legends of the game on it, such as OGE, Birdring, and Big Goose. The Gladiators had similar results to their previous years, placing above average but never doing anything exceptional. Throughout this season, Space demonstrated his talent, and he ended up re-signing with the Gladiators for the 2021 season. This season is where things get interesting. Picking up players like Shu, Muse, and Moth, the Gladiators were projected to be a top contender in the North American region. And unlike the 2019 Valiant, this team delivered.
Straight away,
It's going to be desperation now for the Gladiators.
Shu's turning it with his hand matrix.
With the hand matrix.
Shu! Jimbo's been taken out!
They used on Junker Tower, so the two maps the Shock was able to win.
Oh my god! Going!
Oh, in the room,
Big beats.
funneled in for the shatter. It's a sandwich to talk about. Big diva bomb.
The Gladiators ended up placing 4th overall with a decent playoff performance as well as a Countdown Cup victory. All eyes were on Space and the Gladiators, with Kevster, Shu, and Space getting Roll Star awards at the end of the season. On top of these boring achievements nobody cares about, Space also hit the Sig Rock Jump, which Super claims,
I think I'm more excited about this than winning the fucking finals.
Oh, I hit it! I hit it! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
all of this was great news, but at the end of every season, some people end up leaving teams for whatever reason. And this time, we were unsure of where Space would end up due to the contract status website revealing that Space was a free agent. Was Space really done after achieving the status of best Overwatch 2 tank player? No, he was not. On October 25th, 2021, Space re-signed with the Los Angeles Gladiators for a third year. This is an excellent decision by the Gladiators, with Space now getting to play along many new faces, with Ons, Funny Astro, and Rainer, possibly more to come. It's safe to say that this former hairstylist has never been in a better position. I'm sure all of us are excited to see what this stud does in Overwatch 2.
I'm a superior player, bro. I'm built different. It's just genetics. You cannot teach this. You cannot teach what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed this video, I plan on making more just like it, with this video being a sequel to my Who is Super video. Feel free to check that video out if you have the time, and I would really appreciate a subscription to my channel. See you guys in the next video. Yo, this outro low-key boring, hold up. It's lit, just take a look at the drip, your boys don't get flyer than this. This roll dopey, I'm high as apply.
Wait, it's lit.